This year, you've been hearing hints in our videos about Grimhollow's future, and we've been watching very closely how you react in the comments and on our Discord. The next Grimhollow Kickstarter is very quickly approaching, and we're finally ready to tell you what's in it and how you're helping shape it. My name is Ben Byrne, and the future of Grimhollow is here. Next Grimhollow Kickstarter is launching in early October, and you're going to be exploring the entirety of Etheirys from its very roots. We are transforming the entire Grimhollow Player's Guide and the Campaign Guide into two new books that are more fully realized versions of themselves. Grimhollow's two core books are among our oldest Kickstarters. They were brought to life purely by the passion and support of folks like you who believed in our vision of a gripping dark fantasy 5e world. Ghostfire didn't have a YouTube channel or a social media following back then. We were just some Aussies who believed that tabletop role-playing games could be as poignant and engrossing as they are fun and exciting. Well, thanks only to your support, now we do have the resources of a fully fledged third-party publisher, and it's time to find out what we can really do together. Earlier this year, we made a video about curses in 5e, where I mentioned the unholy metal called Shadowsteel. We had so many of your comments asking for more lore and rules about Shadowsteel, so we're exploring Shadowsteel deeply in the new Player's Guide and Campaign Guide. Over 800 players have already signed up to playtest our new Monster Hunter class, and with each playtest survey you complete, you're adding your voices to Grimhollow. Fans have also asked us to fill out more of the lore, or you've wanted to have more context about when certain events happened and why. We want to give more context to make Etheirys feel like a real, lived-in continent. How long has the Burak Empire endured? When did Astoya fall to vampiric rulership? We feel that now is the perfect time to re-explore the roots of Grimhollow because the new D&D 2024 rules are being released. Our new Player's Guide and Campaign Guide will be designed for the 2024 5e rules. We'll be updating our existing content like subclasses and backgrounds to be fully compatible with new 5e rules such as weapon mastery. Obviously, this also means that the new Grimhollow core books will be compatible with our existing content like the Monster Grimoire and our adventure modules like Citadel of the Unseen Sun. Grimhollow will remain current with modern 5e rules, but it won't lose any of what's made it great so far. But of course, what I'm most excited for is the new content that we're creating for the transformed Grimhollow Player's Guide and Campaign Guide. When the original Grimhollow Campaign Guide was written, we didn't know whether we'd get to do a Player's Guide. So we included every idea we had into that one book. This means there's a lot of player options in the current Campaign Guide, and honestly, even I sometimes forget which spell or feat or feature is inside the Player's Guide or the Campaign Guide. The transformed Grimhollow Player's Guide will include everything a player needs to create a dark fantasy adventurer of your GM's nightmares. All of our heritages, subclasses, feats, backgrounds, spells, advanced weapons, and equipment will be housed in this one book instead of confusingly split between two. We will also be putting all of our core transformations into the Player's Guide so that each transformation can be found in one place with all of its features. This won't include the Valican Clans transformations because those are specific to the north of Etheirys, but we will be creating entirely new transformations in addition to revamping existing ones. No pun intended. These include the much requested Fezeg, a vampire lycanthrope hybrid, and the Shadowsteel Ghoul for those who meddle carelessly with Shadowsteel. Ghostfire has also reinvented how we present heritages in our settings, allowing you to freely choose your character's heritage traits instead of having them prescribed to you. The heritage trait system unlocks more varied and nuanced expressions of your character's lineage and upbringing, and we're bringing that to Grimhollow species. Perhaps your disembodied was a dwarven city guard before the fall of Ulmir's Gate, so you mix the traits of both of those heritages to reflect this unique history. You may even wish to play as one of our new heritages that we're yet to reveal, though I did hint at in a previous video. Comment if you think you know what that one might be. In addition to transforming all of our existing adjusting Grimhollow subclasses to be compatible with the 2024 5e rules, we'll also be creating a new subclass for each core 5e class. And we've already been playtesting our entirely new class, the Monster Hunter, since April. If you want to join our VIP playtesters Discord, hit that link up there. We'll be releasing our Grimhollow Heritage playtest with the next video that comes along, and if you sign up for only $1, you can access all playtests past and future. And this isn't even mentioning the spells, feats, advanced weapons, and equipment that we'll also be putting in the player's guide. There's honestly more in there than I have time to talk about right now, so let's jump across to the campaign guide. Just as the player's guide will have everything a player needs for dark fantasy character creation, the campaign guide will have everything a GM needs. 5e is, at its core, a game of heroic fantasy. Player characters past level 5 can start to feel more like superheroes than grounded protagonists. We still want characters to feel powerful in the world of Etheirys, like Trevor Belmont or Geralt of Rivia, and that's why we use 5e for Grimhollow's core rules. But the transformed campaign guide will empower you as the GM to make your world feel equally dangerous, with new rules that easily plug and play into 5e. This includes revised grievous and permanent wounds, a more considered slow recovery system, and environmental hazards that will create a formidable world to explore. All of these GM tools will be consolidated into one easily accessible place and could be used for any dark fantasy world like Ravenloft, Dark Sun, or indeed Etheirys. The transformed campaign guide will also dive deeper into the lore of Etheirys than its predecessor. We're going to provide a timeline of the events in Etheirys' history. But we still want you to feel empowered to make Etheirys your own. We want to give you more than dead history that sort of forces you to fit your game around. We want Etheirys to invite you in to play anywhere along that timeline with the elements of the setting that you enjoy most. Etheirys is falling into a dark age. The different nations disagree on how their own history unfolded, who created the mortal realm, or what happened to the gods during the Godfall. The history of Etheirys will be detailed and engrossing, but just as in real life, it may appear contradictory and heavily intertwined with the mythology and religions of the different nations. It is up to you and your group to decide the truth of Etheirys' history, and indeed chart the course of its future by playing games set there. So you're excited for the new Grimhollow Kickstarter, but what now? Firstly, we hope to see you at Gen Con in August, where we'll be running new Grimhollow adventures. This includes a one-shot monster hunt that you can play throughout the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and our first ever Grimhollow Epic is happening on Sunday. We still need GMs for those games, so if you want to join the Grimhollow team at Gen Con, hit that link right up there. If you run 4 games, you can get your Gen Con badge refunded. I also just love meeting you folks in person, so feel free to stop me and say hi if you spot me. If you're not attending Gen Con, you can still of course get involved as a playtester. As mentioned, our next video will arrive with our Heritage playtest system, introducing the new Grimhollow Heritages and allowing you to freely build your 5e character. As a playtester, you'll also get to see some of the new transformations earlier than Kickstarter. I can't reveal exactly what those transformations will be yet, but they'll fit in perfectly to any dark fantasy world. And before that, you can check out this video on the fearsome Monster Hunter class. You can play it in your 5e game tonight and then let us know how you would improve it. Or click here to follow the Kickstarter page and get updates for when we go live. Every video that we're making from this point will preview more of the Kickstarter as we get closer, so subscribe to the channel for that.